mean, we like tackled like fucking gun control. We might as well be presidential candidates at this point. I'm pivoting the subject because like we've now talked for like 7 minutes about our nasal problems.
Yeah, and our allergy crap.
So let's talk about a hotbed issue that's all over the internet for the last like year.
I mean, I'm behind all of it, except I heard recently there's a vaccine for chickenpox now, and I just don't care if I have kids. They're going through that shit and dealing with it.
See, I never had chickenpox.
Oh, really? I had them at like 4.
Like I think my brother did. I had friends who did, but I never had chickenpox. And I don't know if I got a shot for it when I was a kid. I don't remember it. I just know I never did. And I always remember like growing up, like hearing that it's way worse when you're an adult. So
yeah. If you get it as an adult, it's supposed to be really fucking bad.
Yeah, and like you scar and all that stuff, but I never had it.
Well, apparently if you've had chickenpox, you also have like the shingles virus inside you or something. So maybe I'm susceptible to that as I'm older.
I feel like I've heard that. My grandfather, I think, just recently had shingles, and it sounds like fucking terrible.
I feel like I remember seeing commercials for that as a kid.
Yep.
All the shit
if you're this old or whatever, you can have shingles.
You could have
and file your claim.
And you could be entitled to compensation.
Yeah. But I mean, like vaccinating your kids. I mean,
it's a proven thing that fucking works, and now all of a sudden we've got diseases that were like literally extinct coming back and.
Yeah, like measles and shit. Like innocent kids are getting sick. And like I kind of have this mentality, and I've always kind of had it, where it was like a question everything mentality. You know, like I feel like I'm saying like a lot, but just because so and so, however many years ago, whatever, defined this as the right way. They defined these words as bad, and this is the traditional way. Blah blah blah. Like, question it. Like, it doesn't mean it's the right way. No, just because we've
change is always constant. We constantly find out how wrong we were about something.
Yeah. Like
doctors used to smoke cigarettes.
Yeah. They were allowed on airplanes. Like just because we've always done vaccines and it seemed to work. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't vaccinate your kids. Like, if science backs it up, it's simple as that. If science backs it up, fucking do it. But I'm also not saying like, hey. But doesn't mean you shouldn't do your research and be like, oh, whoa, I looked into this vaccine.
Yeah, just because it's something that's brand new.
And I
understand skepticism.
And it's a bunk-ass vaccine that they're not supposed to be giving, and you just didn't get the memo, doctor. You know, like, so you should always look into everything and like I said, question everything. But, I mean, use common sense. Like, and that's why I feel, and that's kind of the basis of the show, it's hypocritical that, like, yeah, vaccinate your kids because it's always been done, but also
question the vaccine.
Just because it's always been done doesn't mean it's right. Yeah, like
because I can't remember what it was on. I feel like it was Vice because I just remember seeing the advertisement.
You watch a lot of that, right? Like,
I used to watch it when I had HBO just because it was interesting and it was short and it was stuff that I usually never heard about.
Yeah,
especially like their specials that were an hour long. Like, just a quick reference, I never knew about the crazy border ceremonies between. I want to say India and Pakistan. It's a border ceremony where like their militaries literally get up at the border and have this show of force.
Me popping my finger. Sorry, go on.
But no, they have this show of force where, I mean, they're sitting there doing like, it's a little modernized now because they're in their uniform and showing modern weapons and shit, but it's also like some ancient dance bullshit. But anyways, they fucking hate each other. So there was interesting shit like that on Vice, and that's why I liked watching it.
Right. Maybe it gives you a different look as well into like what you might not have.
Right. And I wouldn't say I'm a liberal or leftist or really identify with anything, but I feel like Vice is a liberal point of view, and so it's interesting to see some of their perspective on things like that.
Oh, and it's kind of like Bill Maher. Like I can't say I'm a fan of Bill Maher. Like he says some funny stuff, and I think that there's some of the stuff where it's like I'd like to think that my humor is like where it's like finally someone fucking said it. No one else would say it, but they said it. I really loved him in Religulous, the documentary, and I mean, if you're listening and you haven't seen it, I strongly urge you to watch it because I mean, even if you're religious, if you watch that mockumentary, whatever you want to call it, and at the end you're like, oh, how dare they say any of this? I'm still sticking to my guns. Then you're in denial. I mean, they make a lot of great points, but he was great in that. Like he was great commentary, great comedic value. But at the same time, like I said, you can't watch it and be like, this shit doesn't add up. But he's I see some of the stuff where I post where I'm like, all right, this is a little inflammatory, a little incendiary, where you're like, you're just trying to feeding into that media issue that we have now, where instead of giving something of value and honest and truthful,
what's going to get a click and views?
What's going to get a click? What's going to get a share? I can't believe they said this.
Or like misleading headlines where the story is really different because they worded it cleverly. And
yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's when I don't know if you listened to it yet. When I was talking about the Joe Rogan podcast with Bernie Sanders.
No, still haven't had a chance to.
It's definitely, I mean, he makes a lot of great points, and I think he is. I mean, he's a very, like, he just makes great fucking points. It's like, how has no one been thinking this? How are all these people getting away with this? And he's talking about, like, you got these debates, like these presidential debates, where, they give you a question, and you're supposed to use 15 seconds to sum up your answer.
And it's supposed to be something serious that covers something with so many different levels of problem just in itself, aside from, the broad issue being just a blanket term.
Exactly. And he talks about, he's like, nobody can just sum up the healthcare problem in 15 seconds. Like, no one can. In the way it needs to be. He said, so instead, everyone goes for what will be a good sound clip, what will make it on the news the next day because of what's going to
go viral temporarily.
Yeah, it's all about the media and, the obviously they're each their own brand as a candidate, and it was very interesting. It was like everyone should go on that show to have that, like, hey, you want to sit here and for 2 hours talk about whatever policies you have, whatever your views are, I mean, they should, because it's like, that's when it's like you really get to say what you want to say and what you think, versus with traditional media where it's, oh, I had 12 seconds to pitch this, and because I didn't, I remember, like, American Idol. I had a drama teacher in high school, and he went on, like, an audition for American Idol, and he said that they filmed him, but they didn't, and he made it through like 3 rounds or 2 rounds, but he didn't make it on the air because the person that went after him showed up in an apple costume. The fucking fruit.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how good they were. Like that dude William Hung that became famous. He sucked, and it wouldn't matter if somebody better than him went before him. If they need airtime and it's limited, who's going to get the most replays? And I remember that
stuck with me when I heard that story of, like, they passed up airing the person who made it through 2 or 3 rounds, who had a voice, like a good voice, for the person who showed up and who he clearly knew how to work the system. The oddball, off the wall guy who showed up in a fruit costume. Of course, they're going to air that.
Yeah.
And I remember that kind of sticking with me of the. I even remember when I was in magazines when I was a kid, and it was like, hey, you published this, but I didn't say that. Like, you literally just said that.
You chopped it and screwed it to however you needed it. And
like that.
What made you look good as a writer, so you could potentially plagiarize their shit in a way.
Yeah, like I remember one publication saying that I graduated college at 19. Like, no, I didn't. One, I didn't go to college. Like, I dropped out. But also, graduated college at 19. Like, what am I, Mensa? Like, that's definitely not. Like, maybe the words were when I was 19, starting college, whatever.
And what was it for? Something for art? Or what were they interviewing you?
I think it was art and business, like the clothing line I had.
Okay, so the business and clothing line is one thing, but, like, no offense to artists out there, but I don't give a shit if you graduated college with an art degree at 19. All you can do is teach art.
Well,
unless you're...
That really goes into, I'm not going to disagree, that really goes into the whole... Yeah, art is subjective. Like, you can go to art school to know about composition and how, you're supposed to paint this so that the eye goes to the left, but then there's something there that then brings it back down to the right, that's composition. But going and learning that doesn't make you an artist. But then again, you have, Rauschenberg, who sells literally a white canvas, and they calls them clocks, and sells them for like $1 million. It's art subjective. Doesn't mean it's not subjectively stupid. Look at some of the sculptures we have.
Yeah, downtown
out on the square that looks like some of Dr. Seuss's early illustrations.
Or something you'd buy at an erotic shop.
Yes. Oh yeah, the one out by Civil. Yeah, that
Yeah, all
like a corn
multicolored
cob,
and weird bumps, and
it was. If that was a person, they should
cylindrical
see
shaped.
a doctor. Yeah, really, really soon.
There's a point I wanted to say though about, like Rogan and Bernie and stuff. I don't know if you'd seen, but there's a petition going around. And granted, who knows if it'll actually happen, because I'm sure there's someone pulling strings. I wouldn't want it to.
Always. Well, I mean, Koch, one of the Koch brothers died, so maybe at least there's one less person.
I don't know who that is.
David Koch? Fuck, I can't remember now. I just look up Reddit. Why haven't I been on Reddit this entire time? It's...
Well, let me finish my point real quick, though.
Yes.
Anyways, the petition is to get Rogan to be the host for the next presidential debate for 2020, which I would be totally down for. I mean, aside from me just being a fan from him personality-wise, he's very well-versed in a broad variety of subjects. He's interviewed countless people on a broad variety of subjects. He's got the good skills for it. He's, pretty unbiased towards everybody, and he's never leaned towards a political party ever.
No, I agree with that. I've watched or listened to some of his stuff, and yeah, it's that kind of like, hey, I agree with this, but what about the people who don't? Like,
I think he'd call people on their shit too if it's a shitty answer, because this last one, I don't care who you voted for. Anderson Cooper wanted Hillary to win, and he clearly hated Trump, which I understand. But it was a completely biased debate then, and I want some real fucking shit where I feel like I'm getting honest answers.
No matter, and that's when
ask them the questions they're not prepared for with a perfect little response.
For the soundbite, and we've really gotten that, and it sucks. I mean, I'm not a political guy. I really try not to be. I don't follow a whole lot of stuff. I mean, that's the whole kind of premise of the show is that we're both really uninformed. But we've gotten over the years now of him as president. It's no longer this like, hey, we're all humans. What's right and what's wrong, and whoever's in the office to do the right thing. Now it's.
Well, it's where do you stand on this specifically? It's black and white. If you're not with me, you're against
left
me,
or
and we're
right.
enemies.
Yeah, are you Republican or are you Democrat? Are
you conservative
they
or are
both
you...
make fucking good points and bad points. Why is it, and you even now, you'll violence. Violence against humans is violence. It's fucked up. A car ran over a bunch of people. A guy shot up a Walmart. Instead, it's radical leftists, radical rightists. How about it's just... I feel 10 years ago...
everybody's always radical now, too. They got radicalized somehow. And
yeah. I feel 10 years ago, it was just, It
was terrorism.
Terrorist, man, whatever, shoots up, whatever. Now it's all about, what side they're on. And I mean...
Yeah, it's a terrible thing that happened, but they want to affiliate them with someone, too, so that the other side can be and this is why you guys are bad, and you shouldn't support that. And
yes, and say what you want about the current administration, whatever side that you're on, but something happened. There is a common denominator that something happened that was incredibly divisive. It is. I mean, something was divisive where it was no longer, hey, some guy shot up a school. Holy shit. I'm not desensitized to it. That's fucked up. I hope my kids are okay when they go to school. Whatever. Now it's, they shot up the school, whatever. But who did they vote for? What was their Twitter status? It's now more of...
Yeah, and they're calling shit back from years
what
to say that they were always like this or something too.
Let's just be upset about guns. I'm not trying to get into a whole gun control thing, but it's that's the common.
No, I'm very pro gun. I don't ever want mine taken away. I don't want to be on a list realistically, but how easy it is to purchase and exchange from person to person and stuff. I may be admitting a crime here, but I'm under the impression that in the state of Missouri, you don't have to register guns that you buy from individuals and stuff like that. Private exchange or whatever that is. Yeah. So the pistol I own, I don't have it registered. And I just paid, a friend cash for it. And aside from me admitting it right now, nobody would know that happened aside from he and I.
That's how I'm the same way. I'm not... First off, I don't think there would be any sort of infrastructure put in place to go and seize people's guns. I think there's
that would start a full civil war, straight up.
Yeah, and that's what is so you just mention it and we're and I hate to use this like divisive word, but Republicans, it's like, oh my God, they're gonna come take our guns. But it's like, dude, no one fucking gives a shit about your gun. Like, yeah, we want to prevent it being easy to buy a gun, but no one's gonna come and take your gun. Like, it's not it. But and so I agree. Like, I mean, that's how I owned my first gun in St. Louis. Like, it was literally an AR-15, like an assault rifle, like with a laser sight, like could shoot up a place with it successfully. And it was an impulse purchase from a friend who was a gun guy. Like, he was a hunter, so we had a lot of guns. And it was like oh yeah, it's like $600. You want to buy it from me? I was like, oh fuck, cool, yeah. Can I give you 2 payments of $300? Like, so I bought it, and it was literally just an expensive decoration in my house. Like, when people come over and they're like, oh shit, that's cool. I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, wipe the dust off, But even then, and this was like 6 years ago, I was like, this is weird. Like, you mean I don't have to register this? I don't have to tell anyone I own this? Like, I just now suddenly own this. And I have this, like, it's like sharks. Like, I have this, like, mutual respect for guns where I'm like, if I'm not comfortable with it, I can kill someone or myself with it. Where I'm like, so, and that's why, I mean, I own a handgun, and I enjoy owning it. I like the idea of having it to protect my family, or, fuck, nowadays, take it to Walmart in case some guy goes crazy, whatever. Yeah. And I enjoy owning it. I enjoy taking it to the range, and it's kind of become what I wanted to be, which was an extension of my hand, where I'm not like, I'm holding it, I'm like, if I drop it, it's going to go off and blow my head off.
You want to be respectful but not scared of it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like to be comfortable with it, where like I know how to use it if I ever need to, but also like it's not a toy.
Yeah.
Like not like, oh, I play too much Grand Theft Auto. Now I'm going to go kill hookers and run a nightclub.
Yeah, and like that's an issue too, I feel like, is aside from, you should do some type of concealed carry training or something, I feel.
But in Missouri, you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to anymore. Granted,
I can a lot of people from what I'm aware of, I can just carry it in my pants with it hidden.
Yeah, but hang on. A lot of people didn't know this, though, and they freaked the fuck out when that happened. They didn't realize Missouri has always been an open carry state. And that you can...
I had to look it up, and even then I was like, well, I don't know for sure, so hopefully I never get stopped.
But still, let me go on. You can conceal carry on your property at any time. So, if you're in your house, of course.
Or keep it in your glove compartment.
But, no, I mean conceal. It's not concealed carry if it's in your glove compartment.
Oh, right.
Because it's not on your body.
Well, I thought you just meant keep it in
but your vehicle is an extension of your property. Right. So you can conceal it as long as you're in your vehicle.
Right.
So the weird thing is...
But I can conceal it when I'm walking around, right?
I thought you can now. But before that, so let's say you had it concealed in your pants and you step out of your car, all you have to do is lift your shirt and pull it up over the handle where people can see it.
But then you're that guy that's like, all right, dude, you're walking
I don't ever want to see open carry. It makes me uncomfortable. And it's always a weird dude with a ponytail. What do you think
about that?
I don't like seeing it.
I know,
if you're showing it, I feel like you're flexing. You got a small dick. You're compensating.
You're flexing,
straight up.
I saw.
You want attention.
I saw a tweet where I was like, if you're a guy and you talk about owning a gun, I'm just gonna assume you have a small penis. And the reply was good. It was like, I've never shot an intruder with my penis or whatever. Like, it was a good clapback. But I feel the same way, where I'm like, okay, like you're like weird flex, dude. Like, you're walking around with this big ass revolver or big ass hunting knife, like just hanging out. It's like I'm more concerned that you're gonna like do something with it, like shoot up a store or whatever, versus protect me if someone else does.
Yeah, because I mean, it's bad that we've got to that
Maybe
mentality.
That's backwards,
but if I see you just out in public with it, handling it or having it exposed,
like a giant revolver, like I'm like, what's going on in your head?
Especially a fucking revolver, 6 shots anymore. Like, what's the point? It's not the Wild West.
Well, they recommend that as a good carry, because it's not going to jam.
That's fair. And I mean, like, I know,
but the people I know who carry those are like the small stub nose, like 38 special, that are like very compact. And mine,
very close range too.
And mine is certainly not compact, but it's also not like a Desert Eagle where it's like fucking huge.
Yeah,
I'd say it's whatever, medium, average. I don't really know much about guns, but even when I like the couple times I carry it, when I'm like, if I'm like out with Logan and you see all this shit on Facebook about child kidnapping at gas stations where they just come up with you. So I started carrying it, because I'm like, I'm not gonna let something fucking happen. But even then, I'm sometimes like, I wish this was a little more compact and not digging into my hip.
Yeah, you probably have a compact and you want like a subcompact pistol.
Yeah,
You
but
want like
the problem with
like
a lot of these
Glock.
compact ones is they don't have safeties.
Yep, and that bugs me too. And I mean, granted, you can just not chamber around, and a lot of them have a trigger that has to have extra pressure on it.
That's
to
what mine
squeeze or
has.
something.
It has a trigger safety and then the palm, like the grip safety.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in like a scenario of, and I mean, maybe I've watched too much Justified on FX, but like, yeah, in a scenario of when you need it, you kind of have to have a chamber. And not that
Yeah, because I don't feel
around-
like I'd be in a scenario where I'm with a shooter or something. It'd be like, if I'm really going to have to pull it, I'm going to be in fear for my life and I'm getting my ass kicked physically or something.
And you're panicking already, so
Yeah.
you're obviously your motor skills are compromised.
Yeah, or if one hand's tied up and that's all you're not going to be able to cock around or
Yeah,
something,
and
you know?
so really for carry and safety, it's suggested that you have one in the chamber, but that's like makes me fucking nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was in St. Louis this last week, and I brought it because I mean I lived in St. Louis, I know what it can be like, especially the era we were in.
It was #1 murder capital for a while.
A long time, and it might still be on some scales, but. I had it like wrapped up in my pants because like I crashed on a friend's couch and I had to change, and you know it wasn't secure, and it like dropped and like hit the concrete, and I was thinking like, well, thank God there's not one in the chamber, because you see TV and you're like, they drop a gun, it goes off and blows
Yeah.
someone's ear clean away from their fucking skull. But so like if I had one in the chamber, I would have been shit.
Yeah,
who knows what
terrified,
happened,
rightly so.
but.
And one thing I don't agree with, though, is in Missouri you can also open carry a long rifle, which means it's legal to carry, like an AR on your back. And I don't see the need for that at all, because that really sketches me out. If
That's
you're going to have a rifle,
you're stirring the pot.
yeah. I mean, I get it if you need to carry it in public to transport it, but you need a case or something for it then.
Yeah, like, and leave it in your car. Like, what are you, hunting humans?
Right?
Like that guy, and I mean, it should have. It made national news, CNBC.
Yeah, here in
like,
Springfield.
The guy at Walmart, which is like, great, thanks for putting us on the map real well. But he claimed that he was confirming that he still had his right or
Yeah, and
whatever.
supposedly he contacted the manager first and said that.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I heard that he reached out to a friend, like his sister-in-law and his wife, and they both were like, it's a bad idea.
Yeah, and they refused to come video him do it or something.
Yeah,
but
and
from
then
one
so
of the
he went
KY3
video it.
posts that I'd seen, supposedly or allegedly, whatever, he called that Walmart and spoke to a manager that said they wouldn't infringe upon his rights, which is in the state of Missouri, you can
Oh my
open
God,
carry a long
I
rifle.
didn't hear anything about that.
And from this guy's statement, if I'm not butchering this, he said nobody in the store was panicking until someone pulled the fire alarm. I'm not condoning what he did. I don't agree with it. It's fucking stupid. But there's so many weird things. But he shouldn't have done it in the first place, I don't feel like.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, I mean, we'll come back to that.
Fucking bulletproof vest, you just look like you're begging for it and expecting bullshit.
Yeah, we'll come back to that because, I mean, I don't believe that no one was panicking. Like,
I'd freak the fuck out. I may not scream and run, but I'm going to scurry away quietly and try to warn other people before shit.
I read that he was following people around the store, and the people that were the most frightened, he followed up to the car, and that's when he got stopped by the off-duty fire department. And like, so the idea that, especially like so soon after shootings, I don't give a shit if you're in the most southern Confederate whatever place on the planet. If after a Walmart shooting, some guy walks in with an assault rifle in a Walmart, I just don't believe no one's like, holy shit! Like there's no sense of panic. I mean, maybe they're keeping their cool because they're like, I don't want to be the one to draw his attention.
Yeah.
But what is fucked up? Because like he went on a record or whatever saying that he was testing that he still had his right, whatever, and that's when it's like. You got these stupid kids who do stupid stuff to be viral. So is it that because he was videoing whatever it might be? But what's really shitty and twisted is that what he did. I can hear the
I know. I keep hearing it echo in the background. The Call of Duty
through the microphone. Yeah, we were playing Call of Duty earlier, playing with guns. Anyway, what he did technically was legal. And it would have been legal up until he shot someone. Mm-hmm. That's when it's like,
or if he pointed the gun at someone, because that's first or second degree
or
assault.
something like that, like brandishing a firearm. I don't know, but like I don't have to be able to carry my gun to feel safe. for that to be a law. You know what I mean? Like if it means me not being able to just carry my handgun without taking a course or whatever.
If you can't go public without like a small arsenal or something, you've got a paranoia problem, and that's like some mental health shit, I feel like.
Yeah, like the fact that someone can walk into a public place carrying an assault rifle and have a bulletproof vest and have 100 rounds, which he did, and it only be illegal and just to call the cops if he shoots someone, that's like what? That's when it's like, come on, man. Like, how can, no matter your view, whether you have this cool gun collection, which, hey, I get it, guns are fucking cool. It's one more expensive hobby for me to customize everything about it.
Yeah, like, I love them. I want an AR.
But that doesn't mean that, like,
I'd love to have it, but...
Yeah, you should have the rationality to be like, yeah, that's fucked up. Someone just whoever, who's not trained, whatever, because I've got all these AR-15s, blah, 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 and I'm trained, and I'm an X whatever, and I can hit the bullseye, whatever.
No, bad motherfuckers don't ever brag about being bad because they know they are.
Yeah, but so-and-so, Joe Schmo, who I don't know, who's not part of my gun club, shouldn't be able to walk into a Walmart with AR-15 videoing.
No, because again, he wants to go viral, he wants the attention for something too, and, oh, look at me, and...
Yeah. Well, that goes back to like the people walking around with big ass fucking pistols on their hip. Like, yeah, or like I'm more worried about you shooting me than like thinking, oh, thank God you're going to protect me. And we were talking about it as soon as it happened. Like, how would you react if you were in a Walmart?
Dude, and someone came I'm in the parking lot, like I hate to say this, but if I'm in the parking lot and I see a guy go to his trunk, grab an AR, strap it on his back, and put on a vest, I'm going to start popping rounds at you because I automatically assume you're up to fucking no good because there's no need for it. I just don't feel like there's any need for you to do that. And like I was introduced to guns at an early age.
See, I wasn't. Like it was my dad grew up hunting with his stepfather, but he never like imparted that on my brother and I. So like, I mean, I was around guns. He had a gun case, and I shot at a range a couple times, but I was known. It was not on my list of interests, you know.
Well, for me, I always thought it was cool because I mean I just liked how they looked, you know, the pretty wood stocks. Because my dad had rifles and stuff. He never had pistols.
Like I said, it's a cool fucking hobby to then get to whatever, like, you know.
Yeah, and he would always go hunt, and that intrigued me. So I would start at a.
I've always still kind of wanted to hunt. Like I never have, but I've always kind of wanted to like experience that in the right way, you know, where you're not just killing some helpless animal. It's like it's part of the food chain, you know. And actually,
actual hunting where it's sport, not shooting fish in a barrel or some bullshit safari in Africa where you're hanging beef. And
I listened to that. It was the Joe Rogan podcast. I don't remember who it was with, but it was with Russell Brand, which was great. Like if you haven't listened to it, listen to it. One, because just Russell Brand is hilarious. He's like just a cheeky, you know, like the epitome of like a British wanker. Like he's just hilarious, you know. He's a good comedian, but he's vegan now or whatever, and like they're talking about hunting, and Joe and Rogan made like a lot of great points about like
the factory farming, and he saw some PETA shit, so now he only hunts because. You know, like, I don't agree with the factory farming shit at all, and it makes me sick to think about where some of my stuff does come from. Yeah.
Well, and he's like talking about one elk will give him enough meat for a year, yada yada. But he's also talking about like you're ending this animal who's going to die anyways life real quick, whereas otherwise it's a violent death by like wolves or bears, and I mean and he like
and
I said,
it's slow and painful usually.
I've never been an anti-hunter like, oh, God save the animals, vegan, whatever. Like I'm like, it's just. What am I supposed to do about it? It's part of life. It's the food chain. But after listening to that, it was even more like, or at the very least, hunters who see it this way.
Yeah,
I condone it. You have some people that they just want to.
That's a hunter versus somebody that's rich and has guns and can pay someone to guide them and do shit.
Yeah, just like you got the people who become cops or military because they just want to fire a gun and kill someone like a video game. You got some people who are like, they want to make the world a better place, and that's how they see themselves doing it. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, so I started hunting early, and I mean, you have to...
I know, we're sorry, we're getting off on some really fucked up tangents.
It's late, and we drank a lot. But no, I started hunting early to be able to buy your tags in Missouri. And I don't know about other states, but at least in Missouri, you have to have what's called your heritage card, which means you went through a hunter safety course. And I think it's like 20 hours or something like that.
Okay, so you had to take a course to be able to hunt, right?
And it wasn't...
Which is still more than buying a gun. Let's just put that out there.
You just fill that out and make sure you're not a felon, and...
It was so quick. Like, literally, it took me maybe 30 minutes to pick out the gun. But once I filled out the paperwork, I'm thinking, oh, my God, like, do I have a record? I don't know. You know, and my name's super common. It took 5 minutes.
Did I have a stupid ticket or something?
Yeah, it was literally
it's
like... It's
usually waiting on the manager to walk up and unlock it or some bullshit.
It took 5 minutes to fill out the thing on the really slow internet tablet. Like, it was like an old Android tablet. Maybe it took 5 minutes. And I actually was arguing with someone else on Instagram where I was like, bullshit, no way it took that long. And I'm like, no, it really did. Like, it took me 5 minutes. And it would have taken shorter, like, if it wasn't for the fact that it was a shitty Android tablet. But, like, it took 5 minutes to fill it out. And I'm thinking, oh, now it's going to take 20 minutes to run my name through this database. No, it was literally like, oh, you're good. I'm like, oh, my God. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I walked out with it, you know. Paid for it, walked out.
Yeah,
but
it's so fucking easy.
Yeah. But the hunter, you were talking about, like, you have to take a whole course just to be a hunter.
Well, to be able to buy the license and do it legally. I mean, you know, there's people that poach and use a caliber of a gun you shouldn't use. And that's another point I want to make about an ARs. I mean, I know plenty of people use them to hunt, but anytime I've heard about someone using one to hunt like deer, which is, you know, a good big source of meat, at least for Missouri, that's
and
like the biggest game we
animal,
have. Yeah. An AR isn't a large enough caliber to take it down usually, like a Remington 337 or whatever it is.
No shit.
Yeah.
See, I always kind of, I mean, they kind of paint, in the media kind of paints this picture where it's like, you don't need this AR to hunt. And I always kind of thought, I was like, yeah, well.
I mean, it's easy to hunt with because it's a semi-automatic rifle, so you can sit there and pop them
so I'm
off and you
thinking
can
like,
get some
it's
great
just,
scopes.
it's too powerful. It's going to blow their fucking head off. Maybe what I've been programmed to think,
No,
brainwashed
it's
by
designed to... Those bullets are designed for people. They're designed to fuck your bones up and stuff, and we have a different structure than what a deer is.
I mean, I keep hollow points in my handgun because if I ever have to use it, it's because I'm stopping like someone who broke into my home, you know, someone who means me harm. Like, that's it.
Yeah. Well, like the AR's not really big enough. I used a Remington 30-30 for the longest time.
I shot one of those when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Fucked up my that got a kick.
Oh yeah, they're great guns.
It's like old like Clint Eastwood cowboy gun, right? Like the 30-30
See,
rifle where you like
everybody I've ever known has had a lever action, like what you're talking about.
Lever
Where it's
action,
underneath.
yeah.
I had a bolt action, and I've never seen another bolt action 30-30. And I don't know if it's a rarity or anything like that, but I mean, it was my dad's gun. It's not mine.
Yeah, I know. My dad, he probably to this day still has it. He probably has it at the link.
Well,
but
when I was 11, my dad bought me a Remington 270, and that thing's like twice what the 30-30 was. That's got some fucking kick to it. And with that, it was on like a basic round. I could take down up to an elk with it, and then you could buy like a special tip or something. You know, it's just different material that it's made of. Still same size caliber though, but I could take down a moose with it. So I mean, that gun could.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I could cover. Yeah, I could cover a pretty large range of anything I need to hunt with it. But, you know, they don't make those in semi-automatics or anything like that, so that's the fucking point. You don't need an AR for anything but sport or fun, realistically, or self-defense. Yeah. But, yeah, we've ran it a fucking lot. And
oh, yeah, we're at almost 40 minutes again. I think this was a good episode. I mean, we, like, tackled, like, fucking gun control. We might as well be presidential candidates at this point.
We've been all over the fucking place about the most dumb fucking shit, too.
Well, it's almost like that is the point of this podcast. Anyway, that is end of episode, whatever this is. See you next time.